Part 1. An End on the Banks of the Danube. The year is a D-180. Outside, there's a razor-sharp cold that cuts straight to the bone. We are in the lands of Vindobona, known today as Vienna. The Danube River is frozen solid, its surface shimmering faintly under the first light of dawn. At this tense garrison city on the northernmost tip of the Roman Empire, an era is partially coming to an end. Outside, 10 legions stand on high alert. Germanic tribes could launch an assault at any moment. Yet, the silence within the headquarters is heavier and more somber than the war raging outside. The news from within is grim. Emperor Marcus Aurelius is fighting the final battle of his life. 19 years of relentless campaigns, exhaustion, and the infamous Antonine Plague have withered the body of this giant. But look closely. That light in his eyes is still there. His mind remains as clear and sharp as ever. Imagine this. A world emperor waits just outside. A Rome so vast it stretches from Britain to the Euphrates, from the Rhine to the Nile, reaching a scale its founders could never have dreamed of. But this grandeur has brought a profound fragility with it. The borders are ablaze. On one side, the Germans, on the other, the Parthians. Marcus, with trembling hands, holds those famous papyrus scrolls, his journals. Note: throughout history, power has almost always brought corruption, hasn't it? Nero burned the city. Caligula made his horse a senator. There seemed to be an unwritten rule. As power increases, virtue decreases. But Marcus broke this rule single-handedly. A man who could burn cities and move armies with a single gesture used this limitless power only for good for 19 years. The guards in the room are weeping, but Marcus remains calm. "Do not weep," he says. "The sun rises every morning and sets every evening. I have done my duty, and now I am departing." But how did this aristocratic child turn into the most extraordinary emperor in history? Let's go back to the beginning, to the moment that child first encountered philosophy. Part 2. The Birth of a Genius. The year is a D-121, Rome's golden age. Emperor Hadrian rules the land not with an iron fist, but with intellect. A man in love with science, art, and philosophy. It is during this magnificent era of peace that a baby is born on Rome's famous Caelian hill, Marcus Annius Verus. His family is deeply rooted and highly respected, but Marcus loses his father when he is only 3 years old. His grandfather, Verus, takes him under his wing. Verus is one of Rome's heaviest hitters, the emperor's right-hand man. He plans Marcus's education meticulously. The best Greek tutors, mathematicians, and masters of rhetoric. But Marcus's heart lies elsewhere. He prefers burying himself in philosophy books over the luxuries of the palace. At age 12, he meets a man who will change everything, Junius Rusticus. This man is no ordinary teacher. He is a living legend of Stoic philosophy. Looking at Marcus, Rusticus says, "This child does not just read, he lives it." He gives him a gift, the manuscripts of Epictetus. That night, Marcus reads those lines until dawn. Do not worry about things you cannot control. Focus only on your own actions. This thought is the spark that will forge the future emperor. Even Emperor Hadrian notices the brilliance in this young man. He is deeply moved by a 17-year-old choosing Stoic simplicity over palace opulence. Before his death, Hadrian makes his decision. Marcus will be the future emperor. Marcus does not rejoice at the news. On the contrary, he cannot sleep for days. He writes those famous words in his journal. "Today my fate has changed, but I will not change. Even if I am emperor, my duty is simply to be a good person." Part 3. an empire governed by virtue. In AD 161, when he ascended the throne at age 40, Marcus was fully prepared. But his first act shocked everyone. He declared his brother Lucius Verus as co-emperor. This was unprecedented in Roman history. "Two brains are better than one," he said, sharing the power. His study was not a palace room, but resembled the cell of a philosopher. One day, the chief physician Galen asked, "Sire, why do you torment yourself so? Why do you not seek some comfort?" Marcus's reply was legendary. "Does a shepherd become a shepherd by eating his flock, Galen? An emperor does not become an emperor by living in luxury on the backs of his people." He didn't just talk, he acted. He revolutionized Roman law. For the first time, he gave legal rights to slaves based on their humanity. He opened schools for orphaned children and struck down corruption like a sledgehammer. He would sit for hours in courts, taking the case of the lowliest citizen as seriously as a great war. When senators grumbled about a minor property case lasting 11 days, he silenced them. Justice cannot be rushed. He didn't squander the treasury either. Instead of palace festivities, he sent that wealth to plague victims in famine-stricken regions. He had 13 children, and every evening after his imperial duties, he spent time with them. The empire was not a pleasure for him, it was a responsibility. Part 4. Rome at the edge of the abyss. But life never left Marcus in peace. In AD 165, caravans from the east brought not just silk, but the Antonine Plague. 1/3 of Rome's population perished. While everyone else fled the city, Marcus opened the palace gates, established hospitals, and for the first time in history, ensured the state-covered funeral expenses. He truly shared the pain of his people. Immediately after, the wars began. The Germans attacked from the north, the Parthians from the east. His brother and co-emperor, Lucius Verus, succumbed to the plague. To top it off, his most trusted general, Avidius Cassius, rebelled and declared himself emperor. What did Marcus do? "We swore an oath not to kill other Romans, but to protect them," he said, marching his army not to fight, but to forgive. Even when Cassius was killed by his own men, Marcus did not punish the general's family. He took them under his protection. His personal life was also filled with grief. He lost his beloved wife, Faustina, and most of his children. His only surviving son, Commodus, was growing into the exact opposite of his father, a youth obsessed with violence and luxury. During this grueling period, Marcus clung to one thing, his journal. "Every obstacle is an opportunity," he wrote. "Plague teaches mercy, war teaches the value of peace, and betrayal teaches forgiveness." Part 5. The Final Test and the Immortal Legacy. The year is AD 180. Marcus is nearing 60 at the head of his army in the freezing cold of Germania. Every morning, he rises at dawn to watch the sun. When an officer asks why, he replies, "As the sun performs its duty without fail, so must I." And then that final day arrives. As his fever rises, Marcus calls his son Commodus to his side. He tells him he is leaving him not a throne, but a responsibility. From beneath his pillow, he pulls out that worn papyrus scroll, the book known to the world today as Meditations. "Power must not control you. You must control power," he says. His final words come as he gives the password to the guard commander, aequanimitas, meaning equanimity or serenity. Indeed, Rome changed after Marcus. Commodus became a total tyrant. The Golden Age ended, and Rome slowly sank into darkness. But Marcus's true legacy did not remain on that throne. From Nelson Mandela to Bill Clinton, from leaders of the modern age to ordinary people, everyone has drawn strength from the lines he wrote, by flickering candlelight. Marcus Aurelius showed us one thing: No matter how difficult the world is, no matter how limitless power seems, you can always choose to be a good person. This is in your nature, and not betraying that nature is the true victory. His tombstone may be lost today, but this quote is etched into our hearts. Make a choice in every moment you live. To be good is in your nature.